What's up, duckies?
It's been a very challenging morning.
We've just been thrown for a whack being asked if we know about Prussia.
And like the TikTok live audience is in fact live, so they
keep them coming.
Yeah, but public shame at work, so now we are going to learn about it and get back to James Alexander with our thoughts. But thank you for the questions. We appreciate it.
Definitely.
You know, when you learn more, you know more. Before we get started, guys, we want to give a big shout out to all the people who are protesting all over the world. Okay, whole Greta has been released, I believe, as of this time of the recording.
So she has been released.
Yeah, they deported her to Paris.
Okay.
But shout out to everybody in LA and New York and all these other places holding it down and scaring the shit out of ICE.
It's been a crazy weekend, definitely. And shout out also to the mayor who's backing up the protesters.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, we said what we said with that.
Yeah. Keep doing it. You guys are doing the Lord's work. That's for sure.
Yeah. But thanks for tuning in today.
Yes. If you guys don't know what you're listening to, you're listening to Bubble Bath Stories, your favorite 15-minute podcast and funnest live TikTok show ever.
Yeah, definitely.
Just saying.
We do what we can, even when we get thrown for whack with questions.
Just saying thank you for the 3 people who are on. Yeah. Shout out to you guys during this time. I am Nicky Trendz.
I'm Manny also.
And this week, this is all you.
Oh, well,
this is all this guy.
Oh, this guy.
This guy.
So yeah, this week has been crazy. The last couple of weeks, if you've just been trying to look at drama in the White House, because Elon's gone.
Yes.
And it's been nothing but fighting back and forth.
Very messy, very petty.
Things came in and came out as far as like news, whatever. But the thing that like kept getting to me that I thought that was funny was what brought it all out in the first place. That was all this drug use, you know. Because they kept like for a week straight, like they kept just like going on to that.
I mean, he was tweaking live on television, right?
It explained a lot of the things that you saw on there, right?
Yeah.
Like especially the hand gestures, like just being crazy on stage, and you didn't really know him for stuff like that, you know?
No, you're right. Yes, you're right. He used to be, we didn't know who he was. Mysterious.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And so like when they were talking about all the different things that he was using and like the way he was using it recreationally, I just kept thinking in my head, like you watch the videos and the pictures of him, you're just like, yeah, he was definitely doing all that shit. And when they say recreationally, I was thinking in my head like, oh, definitely recreationally. Like, when they talked about the pill case that he had, walking around with that, I was like, oh, and you know he's not just...
Like one of those Monday through Friday, like the Monday through Sunday situations.
But also, you know this guy isn't just like taking it with a glass of water.
Oh, no.
He's definitely snorting that. Whatever ketamine is, I don't even know what ketamine is. Whatever it is, he's doing it the baser way. He's figured out a way to use a gravity bomb.
For the audience members that may not know what the quote unquote baser way is, please explain what that means.
Well, I just mean like if there's a way to smoke it, then he's done it with tinfoil. You know, he's been like, do we have anything we could smoke this ketamine with? Daddy needs another hit of ketamine.
I believe you for some reason.
Whatever.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
I think he would.
I don't think he's doing it the doctor prescribed way. He's
or
definitely
like the
doing
rich
it the
people,
fun way.
Or
He's
like
doing
the
it the fun way, whatever that is, you know?
Whatever way. The baser way.
Like, anybody who's done any kind of drugs and gotten to the point to where they're doing it for fun, they're doing it not the way the doctor said to do it.
No, that's not fair. You can't say that. That's not all drugs.
Not all, whatever. Here's a short...
Well, you know, because then you can say that about marijuana.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I mean.
I'm using it the proper way.
Bro, what I'm saying is, like, there are extreme ways to use all the drugs, right? And ways that, like, if you look at the person, you're like, bro, you can't wait till you find a lighter. Like, when people use, you ever heard of hot knifing?
No.
Oh man, so I'm gonna sound weird, but I know about all this stuff because like there's like even books like you'd be like, this is all the ways to smoke weed, right? And so like there's this way of putting two hot knives together, and then it vaporizes the weed when you press it.
Oh my god!
And so you're supposed to smoke
if
that.
you have to do all of that for that, I wouldn't even do it.
It's interesting. He's definitely tried weird ways to do this stuff. It's not just ketamine though, right? He's on ecstasy, psychedelic mushrooms, and Adderall. The Adderall is the thing that people kept saying that was making him go like, you can't see this if you're not watching the video.
We're gonna post pictures of it.
Yeah,
so you
right.
guys can't see it. Do you do the face again? Click.
Yeah, right.
So
he was like biting his lip or something like that.
Okay, well, so the Adderall, of all the things, it was really the Adderall that uncovered his obvious drug addiction.
Yeah, definitely. The deflecting of the questions too is where everybody's like, "Yep, he's definitely on it."
Well, why'd you bring this up? This is interesting.
Well, the psychedelic mushrooms is the part that I thought was interesting because that thing that's actually a subject that has been talked about a lot lately as far as what I've been hearing. Things that they're trying to normalize for use, especially for things
Microdosing.
like microdosing for things like depression, you know. I mean, I hear of people talk about microdosing in a way that's like, do you need to be on that every single day like that? You know, that they don't seem like that. I don't know people, but like, is everyone going through depression where it's like the whole generation is going through depression, so everybody's using it?
I think it's just become
Doesn't
normalized.
It feel like that?
Yes. Well, I think what it is that it's just become normalized, and by the time our generation was old enough to realize, oh, why the fuck would I just like live in trauma? Like that sounds crazy. We normalize the use of drugs recreationally.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're not all bad if you use it the right way.
Yeah.
But
it
is kind of crazy how, for instance, marijuana has become so mainstream that even now previous generations are partaking in it. So, you know, it's weird because these are also the same people who are like, don't do drugs. What is it? Smack is whack. Which smack is whack because what is that? That's heroin.
Yeah,
yes.
Well,
Smack.
I don't think we've gotten to the point where
No. Smack is whack.
We got rid of that one for a reason, right? I came across this article. It's on Women's Health.
Wait, can we talk about why you were just randomly reading Women's Health? You are such an ally.
I am an ally. I stay quiet about it though.
What an ally, this guy.
So anyways, I came across this article and they're talking about why moms are using psychedelics right now to cope with postpartum.
Okay.
And so postpartum definitely been around forever.
Been around.
Just now being decided it's a thing until like the late couple of 100 years or so. Mainly because, I mean, the stuff that we used to say that women were suffering from before we decided that there were...
To name it, to label it,
like hysteria, things like that.
Yes.
Like, oh, looks like she's got a case of hysteria. Why? Because she won't do the dishes.
Yes.
You know, they're doing treatments for everything, but everything's always been pills.
Right.
Basically, you know, without going through the details of like medication, everything's always been pills with side effects, with side effects that they said mainly have been like either a sexual or just like in general, it just changes who you are.
Yeah, because they're antidepressants, basically. Yeah.
So historically, like native tribes have used psychoactive mushrooms to help their own people. And so from what I can see, the side effects aren't as bad in the microdosing sense. So yeah, this article comes across as like, should we be more open to using these psychedelics to help people with depression, especially when it comes to postpartum?
So no, I've never been pregnant. We do not have children. Just going based off of having sisters and friends who have had babies and being around the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, PPD is very real, very serious. And it's a lot of the times when you hear about mothers committing suicide or killing their children, a lot of it's like, oh, she suffered from PPD. And it was either ignored or wasn't properly taken care of, right? It's that whole like, she doesn't want to wash the dishes. She's got to stir. And if there are ways to combat that, to stop those things from happening, I think they should be made, and I think they should be accessible to everyone. Now, with that being said, I don't know about the microdosing. I don't know if it's because of like how the article was written or what. I'm not against it. I do think anything outside of pills is a great way to start a healing journey, especially with something like PPD, like you said, especially when the side effects are worse or add on to what you've already been feeling. And I think that anything that can just help with that is great. But it's a psychedelic. Like, you hallucinate.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you have, you still hallucinate. And correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because we've done it wrong the first time we used it, but from other people's understandings and what they told me. You have to be in a good state of mind in order to have a good trip. And one of the ladies that they interviewed who was a part of the studies, and we'll link the article to our show notes.
Yeah.
It's I lost my train of thought.
One of the ladies
that they were interviewing was talking about how like she felt really present with her child.
Yeah.
And she goes, but it's not all happy, because like even though you're present in the happiness, you're also present in the sadness. Yeah. And I said, that feels like a red flag.
Yeah. Like, imagine the kid actually spills the milk and you're like, oh my God. You freak out with the kid.
Yeah, right?
You know, but obviously I don't know if that point will get to the freak out or the overindulgence part, because of the whole fact that they try to keep it to a microdose level, you know?
Yeah, but like,
I think more so is about like keeping it in check than like going all the way happy, you know?
But, right? Because the other thing that we had talked about when we were talking about this episode, it's like, what if you microdose and you're like, time passes, right? And you're like, I don't feel anything. And you're like, well, what's another little microdose gonna do? Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, I'm not feeling what you think you're supposed to feel. You're like, I gotta take a little microdose. By then you're taking a full fucking dose. Yeah. You know? So like, how do you control that? Because they also say in the article, they have no way of knowing what is an appropriate microdose, because it's all dependent on the person. Yeah, there's a lot of factors that they did talk about. Number one, the fact that the postpartum comes in hand with right after birth, which is usually when you're doing your breastfeeding. Yes, and you can't be giving experimental drugs to somebody doing breastfeeding, because we don't know the concentration of that into the breast milk. And can you just imagine that baby who's having mushroom-laced milk? Yo, mom. That better be a genius baby. Genius baby. No, are you kidding me? That's terrible. Yeah. But then they also said, I didn't know that they were talking about how a little of antidepressants also get into your breast milk. Yeah, all of that does. It all leaks in, definitely. I don't know. The article, so they can't do testing that way, you know? Right. The article kind of annoyed me because it just felt like they're nowhere near close to really having this as an option, and to me it just feels like, why are we even talking about it? Like, you should be at a point where you can tell me how you manage to work the microdose. It's almost like they're selling you the picture, but they're not really giving you more of what the details are that are actually going to happen. This all is very like up in the air. Obviously, you're an adult woman, you're an adult woman, you can find shrooms, you can figure it out, you can microdose yourself, but like also that's just like a chance you gotta take. The other thing was like that not irritated me, but made me think that if the government is controlling this, I don't really have faith in it because the government notoriously hates women.
And this becomes a list.
Yes. Of something, a list, but it also gets added to a list of potential things that get cut. Then they were talking about the hopes of like insurance covering sessions at a facility with trained professionals in a controlled environment. And I was like, but insurance like barely covers the basic needs that women need, the basic needs of women who have had who have labored and given birth. Yeah. So I'm supposed to believe they're gonna be like, yo, let's open up a bunch of shroom facilities.
I mean, they've been trying to get something like this approved for like vets with depression as well, and that's nowhere near getting. So I could imagine the miles that women have to go to get something like this approved for themselves. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I was like, why are we...
You're right. It is like, why this isn't news yet.
Why are we doing this? I was like, the concept, yes. But it's just like, also it takes one motherfucker to fuck it up for everybody, boy.
I guess what it had me thinking about is, as far as like growing up, we were a low income family. You know, we didn't have, I'm sure my parents, I don't know my parents' situation, but I'm sure they weren't getting access to the best medication in the best facilities. So I'm sure when I think about us growing up, all of us, I'm sure our parents were going through things too that, not saying they would say, oh yeah, let's go microdose and start taking drugs. Yeah. But if something like this was readily available and not like shamed on, and they could be told, hey, do this, take this every other day, and it'll bring your stress levels down, whatever the point of it all, to help out the common person. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have seen my parents go through so many things,
or they might have just been more open about
and I'm not even talking about them fighting. I'm talking about walking in and just seeing your parents like not being able to take life at that time. Because I'm 30 and I'm in my 30s, and I know what it feels like right now. I can just imagine what they were going through with 5 kids.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. They're the real superheroes. I don't know how they I don't. Yeah. And with no drugs, just regular basic cigarettes and alcohol. Yeah. So, pioneers.
And we don't drink, right?
Right? No, we don't really like drink.
We don't drink.
I think the point of all this is that it kind of sucks that society's like, have kids. Yeah. Be fruitful, multiply. And they don't care about the aftermath, and they don't care about the mother who is like giving birth, who like I imagine it feels very weird not to have a connection to something that was growing into your body. Yeah. Right? And then everybody up in your face talking about like, how's motherhood and what's it? Like, it is stressful. I'm sure of it.
Especially when it's a chemical imbalance. And
it's not you.
It's not you. It's just something that happened.
And also, another thing that I thought about during reading this article was that people are really out here just having babies with people they don't really know or like. And it does not seem beneficial at all because of all the medical aftermath that happens. Yeah. So please wrap it up. Like, you guys don't have to get married. Just wrap it up. Because sister girl, this is too much. You shouldn't put your body through this, your mind through this for someone who's not a good partner. I'm talking to you on TikTok Live. I'm talking to you over here in the microphone. this, this is where we're going to now. Microdosing shrooms so you could be okay. Like, come on. Like, do not do that just for anybody. Do not, just wrap it up. I promise
do that for a partner. Not for just some dude.
Yeah, do it for someone who's gonna ride. You know, just wrap it up. We're not saying don't do it. We're just saying wrap it up. That's it. Also, we do recognize the privilege that will go into this.
Yeah.
Obviously,
it's not going to go to us first.
Obviously, Cindy somewhere in the suburbs was like, I don't feel good. And, you know, her dog walker gave her some shrooms and she like, oh my God, I invented something. That's how I feel about this too. It reeked of privilege. It reeked of privilege. But I do hope something great comes of this. I just feel like we're nowhere near it, and so to just kind of tote about it feels wasted. I don't know. It doesn't feel very like it's gonna happen anytime soon. So I'll just kind of not hold my breath about it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
This is me.
Well, that's what it is, you guys.
But also, this is just an opinion. Please don't. We don't have children. We understand.
No, I'm interested. I'm interested in y'all's opinion, though.
Yes.
Like, if you're parents out there and you feel like this is something that, if developed in the right way, would you take it, or do you already try it out?
Yeah.
To cope with stuff.
Yeah, and it works great.
Yeah.
I think.
And what's the right way to do it, by the way?
I think also like. It should happen first for the depression to see how that works out, because then you can see where you need to tweak it for the women who are going through PPD.
Yeah.
That's just me. I'm not a scientist though.
I don't know how it works.
You guys could let us know the answers or opinions to those questions on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or YouTube at Bubble Bath Stories.
You can find me at Got No Time for This.
And you can find me at Nicky Trendz on Instagram. If you guys are looking for some official merchandise, you can go to bubblebathstories.co. If you're looking to call to complain about what we've talked about, to vent to us about what we've talked about, or even just to tell us some good news, a compliment, whatever, we'll take it all. Hit up our hotline at 347-878-1144. Until next time, duckies.
Bye.